Welcome back to the channel here, guys. I got my SB01 Tactical. Last time you guys saw this pistol, I compared it to my CZ75 Shadow from czcustom.com. Gonna go ahead and keep upgrading this pistol with a couple new parts I have here in my goodie bag. So my goal is to actually shoot this in a competition. Gonna go ahead and mod it as much as possible, so that way when I do enter in a competition, it'll be ready to go. But right now, what I'm going to be adding is this IDPA legal Magwell from czcustom.com. Now, once you install this Magwell, I do currently have a 11.5 pound hammer spring installed in the pistol. It's going to be a little bit harder to change out my hammer springs once I install this Magwell. So I went ahead and picked up a 8.5 pound hammer spring from Cajun Gun Works. So you lighten this trigger down even more. Right now with this 11.5 pound, I'm hitting about 6 pounds on my double action and about 2.5 pounds on my single action, which is very impressive. That includes all the polish work and obviously all the other custom parts that I went ahead and installed. But want to see what this 8.5 pound hammer spring will end up ringing up with my trigger pull gauge. Now, I have used this 8.5 pound hammer spring and tested it, but I want to go ahead and show you guys the difference as far as the trigger pull, what these two different weights are going to give you as far as results. Now, when you install this Magwell, you are going to have to change out your grips. So I already purchased a new set of short grips that I'm going to be installing on this firearm. You can modify your existing grips if you choose to go that route. Obviously, you're no longer going to be able to use those grips for a full-size handgun, CZ75 handgun. So it's kind of up to you. I went ahead and just purchased a new set. That way, one, I don't have to modify my VZ grips because these are actually kind of expensive. So I'll be using this for a different handgun. But if you happen to have the stock rubber pieces, those are really easy to modify with just a serrated knife. You can cut straight down a couple millimeters off the bottom, and that way it'll fit your new Magwell if you're choosing to do this upgrade. So let's see. One thing you'll need is whatever tool you're going to use to take off your grips in a 3 30-second punch. And on czcustom.com, it's pretty comical because when they showed the installation video of this piece, they make it seem almost too easy. So when I went ahead and tried to get this piece to fit in, it was not even close to what they showed me on the video on the install. So this is a, I don't know, maybe a heads up as to everybody else, I guess, that, you know, they do put a warning on there that says that you might possibly need to modify this piece in order to get to fit your frame. They had I believe they had an SP01 on the video, and this is an SP01, but I had to heavily modify this piece in order to get it to fit this frame. Now, all I really did was took a Dremel and I left it really rough so you guys can see all the parts and areas that I had to Dremel out right here on this side, and obviously on this side right there. That lip was a major pain as far as fitment went. I did Dremel off the lip right here, and I shaved off the side right here. So this actually, well, and on the other side, so this actually came out more and was almost a little straighter, like a ledge, and same on this side. But I went ahead and shaved that off because once I start fitting that back on the frame, I'll show you where it came in contact and it wouldn't actually push all the way through. But I left it rough, obviously, so you could see the areas in which I had to modify this Magwell to get it to fit the frame. But also I didn't find much need to smooth it all out after I worked on it, because all these areas are going to be covered once it's installed. So I actually just left it as a rough cut, and I'll show you what I mean once I install it on. That there's really no need to smooth that out unless you're a perfectionist, and you know it's going to bug you. But really, all these parts are all going to be covered up and non-visible once you put it on. So again, the part number on this is let's see, 10253 from czcustom.com. That's the Magwell itself. Again, I got my hammer springs, and if you have an SB01 that you're going to be installing this on, you're going to go ahead and need to replace this hammer spring plug, and you're no longer going to have this lanyard loop. So you can pick that up, or you can opt to pick up CZ Custom part number 10165. It's kind of pricey at $35, or you can pick up a regular hammer spring plug also from CZ Custom, or maybe CajunGunworks.com might have it. But this piece itself has an actual nub built into it, so when you slide it in, it'll actually connect and link up with this hole so that the magwell doesn't move around on you. Now again, this is a very tight fit, so even without the hammer plug, you possibly won't get much movement out of it. But just to be sure, because I'm going to be shooting this pistol a lot with this magwell on, I went ahead and picked up this plug, like I said, from CZ Custom, to keep this in place. Now on the video, it also shows you that your stock magazine, either a 16 round magazine, is not going to be able to fit, and that's true. You are going to need a new base plate. So I have a couple different options here to show you once I get it all on for you. I'll show you what parts need to be either modified or purchased. So let's go ahead and take off the grips. I already got those started. So I'm going to hopefully make this video shorter. Go ahead and remove your old grips, whatever they might be. Put that aside. Again, you're going to remove your old hammer plug. So press down, push your pin out. Get your mag brake out of the way so you can get your hammer spring. And again, you might be skipping this step, but I'm going to go ahead and change out my hammer spring to this 8.5 pound versus the 11.5 pound. Now, one disclaimer again: if you choose to change your hammer spring this low, you will get light strikes out of your ignition. So you're going to be very limited to the ammunition you're going to be able to use. To Federal primers and American Eagle ammunition, it's the only ammunition I found I was able to ignite with a hammer spring this low. So I tried cellular bellet, Winchester white box, all 115 grain pretty much, Remington, even Gecko, a lot of different ammunition. Needless to say, I can't think of it all right now off the top of my head, but they all failed to fire. I mean, a couple of them would go, but then they would get light strikes after that again, after using this 8.5 pound mainspring. And that's something that I didn't experience with my 11.5 pound hammer spring, but definitely going to need to note that when you go this low. So you're taking off your lanyard loop, and you are installing your new, well, I'm installing a new hammer plug. Again, part number on that was 10165. And for right now, let's see, you're going to want to just hold that in place with your pin. So as you can see, that protrudes out, and that is actually going to click into place right there with that hole. So now I have a couple backup hammer springs I'll probably be using on a different pistol. So let's see. Now I was just holding it in place with this pin, but you're no longer going to need that pin. I'll show you why here in a second, but you're going to want to push down, get that pin out, and put enough pressure on the new hammer plug in order and kind of kink it in, so that way, right there, kink it in so that it stays put, because the magazine well is going to have to clear this area. The only way to do that is if you don't have that pin. So you can see while I'm sliding it in, I'll show you right there, this protruded out and it was coming in contact with the curve on the frame. So I went ahead and just shaved it off on both sides, so that way I could push it in as far as I can get it to go. And then that way on the bottom here, you'll see that it's flush right there and doesn't catch. Now you can take a mallet if you like and get that to go in as far as possible, but the way I fitted it is that I could just push it in my hand. Now all I have to do is lock it in place with the nub corresponding to the hole. And then I know it's in there because right there you'll see that I can push it up and out. So I know then that way it's coming in contact with the hole. And also if you try to push out the Magwell, it's not going anywhere because that nub is actually right there. Now you rework your mag brake, make sure it's flush, and if it's not flush, you might have to try and straighten out your hammer plug, because it might not be facing forward all the way, it might be a little off center, and that's going to be pushing out your mag brake just a little bit, but something you don't want, because then your magazines won't drop free. So you definitely want to get this mag brake as flush in as possible. There we go. So give it a couple taps. Mag brake is flush. Magwell is not going anywhere. And now what you're going to have extra is your pin, and like I said, your lanyard loop if you're choosing to install this on an SP01. Otherwise you won't have this, you'll have your old hammer plug without the lanyard loop. So now you can go ahead and install your grips. Now what I chose to get were these black short grips. I actually found these from a guy I don't even think this is the correct corresponding part number, but these are actually the grips off of CZ TS Checkmate. So as you can see, this is the right side of the Checkmate grip with the skateboard tape, and that's the left side. But these are your short grips. Now they do offer grips on czcustom.com. Pretty sure they're not black, and I'm pretty sure they're silver, but they're going to look just as nice, fit just as well. And get the job done there. Now these black ones are going to be extremely hard to find, so I'm not making this video make you guys jealous about my grips, but I am showing you what the gun's going to look like with the Magwell and the correct fitting size grips. That's the left side. That's the right side, and that's what it's gonna look like, guys. So you're gonna need short grips, guys, or else this isn't gonna work. And like I said, right here, that lip that I had to shave down isn't visible because your grips are going to be covering that up. But just make sure not, if you do happen to need to modify the same area, not to grind it down past the outer ledge right there. Now as you can see, because of the curvature of the frame, it doesn't quite fit flush right here on the corners, but the back butt of the frame is as far back as it goes into the Magwell. But a very nice fitting Magwell once you get it down to size. So that's what it looks like right there, guys. Looks pretty cool to me with the magazine well. Might end up painting that black, but looks awesome with the black grips. And then next step is to fit your magazine. So it originally comes with your 19 round magazine and your thick base plate. Now if you try and put that in, it's obviously not going to fit anymore. So if you choose to modify this piece, what you're going to have to do is cut it down and all the way around in order for it to slide all the way in. As you can see, it gets caught right there, so you're going to need to cut it all the way around so that it pushes all the way in. Now you could modify it, or again, a couple different options here for $9, 10070 part number from czcustom.com. That's going to be new base plate. Again, once you modify it, this is somewhat what your base plate's going to need to look like in order for your 19 round magazine to fit. But if you buy that base plate, pretty easy, just push down, pop out your old base plate, put in your new base plate, and now you have a magazine 18 round capacity that'll easily push in and drop free. So that's one option. Let's see. Another option here is going to be to get your silver base plate part number on that is 30094. Gonna cost a little bit more, not always in stock. The black one, part number on that is 30090. Again, not always in stock, but I thought this was a pretty cool option. So you're going to take your same 18 round magazine, so the aluminum base plate, these fit a little bit tighter, but just need to work them in. So that's your new 18 round, and then that's how that's gonna fit. So I think that looks pretty cool. I went ahead and picked a couple of these up, and then that way it seems to fit a little bit better in there. Gives you a little bit of a ledge down here, so that way when you're pushing it in, you're not hitting the Magwell. You got enough exposure to the magazine to be able to slide it in without having to jam it in too much. But obviously it's empty, guys. It'll start freaking out on me. But now that we got our 8.5 pound hammer spring in, let's go ahead and hit the trigger gauge up. So this is from full decock. Full decock, you're at 5 pounds. Again, about 5 pounds. And again, that's 5 pounds. That's from the full decock, from your half cock position, which is where you're going to start most of your competitions. You're still hitting about 5 pounds, so really not much difference there. A little bit under 5, so maybe a little bit lighter on the half cock position. Yeah, a little bit lighter, no big deal. And then your single action. Whew, geez, that's really light. So you're a little bit over 2 pounds. Yeah, just a little bit over, yeah, probably around 2 1/4. Wow, that one felt really light. So that's, I don't know how that's possible, but it says it's under 2 pounds, but might just be because it's a very light hammer spring. Yeah, that's actually a very light single action pull. I'm gonna actually go ahead and say that is a 2 pound. Let's try that again. It's saying just a little over 2 pounds, but pulling kind of fast. So let's see. Yeah, a little over 2 pounds. Little over, maybe 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 on the single action, and then 5 pounds on the double action. That's pretty freaking amazing. But again, that's the magazine well. It's your new magazine you're gonna need. The new base plate for. You're gonna need your new grips, whatever they might be. And that's one heck of a gun right there. Now, just a quick note, I do have these Magwell magazines. These are what, 17 plus 2, so these are actually the 19 rounds. Again, if you happen to have those, not going to fit with the Magwell install. So you cannot modify these enough, I don't believe, in order for them to fit, because of the way that the lip works on these Magwell magazines, and the followers are a little, or the, yeah, these base plates are a little bit different. There's no way you can cut this down enough in order for it to clear so you can put it in there. So your Magwell magazines are not going to work. Well, your extended Magwell magazines, I should say, are not going to work. But you're going to have a pretty sweet looking gun here, guys. Give me a thumbs up, hit like, subscribe. Again, I got a bunch more videos coming to you guys. Show you a few more modifications I'm going to be making to this pistol. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. Shoot straight, shoot safe. Alright, I'm out.